integrate your shadows. Take dragon, integrate your shadow.
Jovan,
Oh yeah, Anjima.
what is this song? I'm so much reminded of the song where, it is a
workshop
Tame Your
song?
Dragon
Yes,
theme song.
yes.
Yeah, you've been singing those 2 lines only. What about the other 2 lines?
I forgot the words of the song. I was doing a lot of works in the workshop.
Workshop. I know the kids were singing the whole song, and yeah, I know you were busy.
I lost
Jovan.
my attention.
I know it was then, but what are you busy now doing
We
so
have
many
a
things?
session going on now, so I'm just admitting the
Oh,
people.
what session? Tune and focus up.
Yes.
Ayyo. Okay. I forgot. I think people have come in. Yeah, all people have come in.
Yes, they are joining.
Okay.
They are here already.
Okay. I just forgot. Welcome for this session of Tune In and Focus Up. But I wonder, where is this main person? Look at this. He's once again lost in playing the music. Dr. Johan. Dr. Johan. Dr. Johan.
Yes. Yeah.
People are waiting there. We have this session. Tune and focus up.
Waiting for what?
For this session.
Session.
Right now,
tune and
people,
focus up. It's
yes.
time. It's now.
Yeah.
Oh my, correct. That's right. Yeah, and it's supposed to be on attention, isn't it?
Yeah.
And look at me, I'm all now absolutely out of focus.
Okay.
So we better get our act together soon. All right. Yeah. So welcome everybody to this special session. Tune in, focus up. This is a special session in honor of World Music Day. It's an interesting day, 21st of June. A lot of things fall on 21st of June, including the summer solstice. So it's supposed to be the longest day, but there's so many other things also. But World Music Day is one of the things that falls on that. So in honor of that, we thought we'd do this special session in which we will be focusing on using music and storytelling as tools to enhance attention and focus. So that's what we'll be doing. So as we get into that, let me just give you a few words of introduction and then we'll jump straight in. Thank you all for joining and spending this Saturday evening with us. We are very, very happy to have many of you with us. Thanks again. And even as others join also, we would like to welcome all of them. So we are healthSoch Academy. We are an organization based in Vellore, and we focus on mental health teaching and training, both for the general public as well as for professionals. A lot of our work of late has been with schools, with students as well as teachers and even parents. And we've been working with many local schools of late, and that's been an area of great interest for us. And this is a continuation. This session is part of that focus on kids and schools and parents. So let me just introduce our team. I'm Johan. I'm a psychiatrist by training. Let me introduce the rest of my team. Some of them you have already met. You've seen them just now. We have Angelin. So Angie is a nurse by training and also a pastoral counselor. And we have Jobin here. Jobin is he's an engineer by profession and by training, and he's our admin and a logistics guy, and also helps with a lot of the technology. So that's Jobin. And we have one more person who's hidden right now, but you'll see him. Yeah, that's Dr. Praveen. He's a medical doctor by training, a physiologist, and a specialist in neuroscience. So yeah, so that completes our team. We're a multidisciplinary team, and our focus area and general area where we all come together is in mental health. But one more area we all come together with is in music and literature. We're all big fans of music and storytelling, so that also comes into our work. And you might have heard of them. They were both just talking about a certain workshop we had done a couple of weeks ago called Tame Your Dragon workshop. That was a local workshop in Vellore where we had kids during the summer come together for 2 to 3 days. And we had kids from 4th to 8th standard coming in. And we got them to we taught them certain mental health skills like working on their emotions and dealing with their identity issues and all. But we taught that to them using music and story and drama. We got them actually to help write a story and a drama which they would put up at the end for their parents, which they did very well, including some original songs. So, in fact, all the music that you heard at the beginning and all the music we'll be playing today is actually original music which we composed for that workshop. And, we got some inputs from the kids as well for the lyrics of those things and all. So, that's just to tell you about that. But that's just for your information. We'll move now straight into what we need to do. So, once again, welcoming those who have just joined. Welcome to this special session. Yeah. And let me just tell you the basic structure of how we will be doing this. Don't worry, we promise we will finish on time. We value your time and we will try to keep it short and crisp so that you will also get something out of it. So we'll be structuring this in one of the frameworks we like to use very much, which is called the 3 R's framework. So there's just 3 R's you need to remember. I'll just list them out and explain the structure of what we're going to do, and then we'll jump in. So the first R is recognize. All right, that's simple enough. The second R is respond. And the third R is reflect. So those of you who have seen us before or who have attended some of our sessions or our courses, you might have seen us using this framework before. But for those who are new, we'll just take you through it. The first part of the session today, we will be doing the recognize part, where we'll be trying to look at recognizing the problem of declining focus and attention that we seem to be seeing in everybody these days, particularly in kids. So we're going to see how we can recognize that that is a problem and recognize the signs of it. That's the first part. Then we'll be looking at the respond part. Now there are 100 things we can do to respond. But in keeping with today's theme, we will focus primarily on using music and story as and things related to music and story as strategies to help with this. Now, we don't claim that this is going to be comprehensive because obviously there are so many things you can do to improve attention and focus. But today, in keeping with the theme, we'll be focusing on these things. And finally, the third R is reflect, where we will be making you all have some time to think about what you learned and reflect on it and see how you can apply it. Because if you just hear it as theory and it goes off in the air, you'll forget it within an hour. But if you try to apply it and think how you can apply it in your own personal lives, there is a hope that it might stick on. So that's the 3 R's framework, and we'll be using that as we go through the rest of today's session. So let's jump into the recognize part, the first part of the workshop, and we will be doing this with your help. Now, we don't like to do things with only one of us talking. We always like to do it with a little bit of participation, and we need your participation. So we are going to do this as with some questions, interactive questions that we are going to be asking you to respond to. These will be put up as a poll right now. All right. So there's a group of questions, short questions. Don't worry, they're all simple questions. You just have to pick your answers for this. All right. So don't get tensed. But then this will help us to take the session in a way that you will also enjoy it and you'll remember stuff. And you'll be able to keep your attention, which is very important. Yes. Let me ask Praveen to put it up there for us. Okay. You're going to be seeing that question in a minute. Okay. So you're basically, the issue is, yes, the question is up there on your screen. You should be able to see it in the poll. All right. Now, is this issue of declining focus and attention in kids a major problem or a minor problem in your understanding? Now, this is, I know it's World Music Day, so we don't want to confuse you. Those of you who know some music will know what is major and minor, but that's not what we mean here. Major key and minor key, that's not what we mean. Major in terms of, is it an important big issue or is it a small issue that we're not so bothered about? So if you think it's a smaller issue, you can put it as 1. If you think it's a bigger issue, you can put it on a higher score. You see how you think about it. All right. So we'll see how this goes. Is this really a concern that people have or not? Is something we want to hear from you. All right. Let's get some more options. We can see some people responding. Can we request more people to please respond? So we can't do this without all of you playing a role and responding. Yes. So that's great. We're seeing some responses come in. All right. Okay. So I think, yeah, just we'll publish what we have now because we have lots of other poll questions also to come. Let's see what happens. All right. So I think there's a good number who seem to think it is a big issue. It is, seems to be a major issue. Yeah. About roughly about 2/3 of you think are in that 4 to 5 region, which think it's a big issue, and there's a small minority who think it's not a very big issue, and that's fine. We're absolutely fine to that. But we do think it is quite a challenge, especially as we've been working with schools of late. We found this is a common complaint we get from teachers, especially about kids finding it difficult to focus for extended periods as compared to before. So we do have some basis in our own interactions with schools and all to make this claim. But otherwise also, even from a clinical point of view, in psychologists and psychiatrists are seeing more attention issues of late, and it's really skyrocketed now compared to before. Yeah, that's great. So thanks for that. That's just to get us started with this polling business. Yeah, and we'll move on to the next. Oh yeah, so I can see there are some people who have put in the chat box also. Yeah. Okay, great. So, but we'd request you all, instead of putting it in the chat box, if you can actually put it in the poll, it helps so that we can actually visualize how many of you think the issue is big. But it's very clear most of you think it's a big issue. Okay, right. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, I'm going to ask Praveen to help us put this next question up. Okay. Now, in the next set of questions, what we're going to be doing is you're going to get 6 questions here, and now we're playing on whether these statements which are there, these are statements, whether these statements are non-fiction or fiction. Again, we're playing on the storytelling theme. Okay, are these statements, if you feel these are true statements, it means you can click it as true. If you think these are false statements, you can click false. All right, so it's up to you. We'll see how it goes. So please do try and answer them, because based on this we'll be able to go ahead with the recognized part of this story. All right. Yeah, I'll read the statements out. First statement is, decreasing attention and focus is a problem in kids and adults. Okay, so is that true statement or a false statement? Let's see. Certain types of screen activity increase attention and focus. All right. Third one is, fun is the only way to increase attention and focus in kids. Okay. Fourth one, today's kids are smart and don't need attention as much as previous generations. Okay. And fifth one, today's kids are capable of long attention spans and focus. And the sixth one, attention and focus is only needed for studies and not for other activities. Okay, so 6 slightly controversial statements. Okay, but this is basically the meat of what we need to discuss in this recognized session and see what we can get out of it. So good, we're getting some good responses. I would like some more to respond. Okay, that's great. You're doing great. Yeah, I think we can publish the results now so that we can move on with the discussion. Yeah. Okay, great. I can see some good responses here. Let's take ourselves through a couple of minutes journey through these statements and see what we can come up with. So, first statement was decreasing attention and focus is a problem in kids and adults. Wow, 88% of you say that's a true statement, and about 10 to 12% say it's false. So, yeah, so most of you seem to think it's true. Decreasing attention and focus is a problem in kids and adults. And the correct answer is yes, true is the correct answer. It is a major problem in both adults and children these days. It's actually quite surprising that in these past 5 to 10 years, the amount of people who complain of concentration, attention issues has gone up through the roof, and we see it all over the place. And it's also a phenomena that we are seeing in adults as well. Now, there could be many reasons for this, and we'll come to that in a bit. But I think we should all agree that this is not just a problem in kids, this is a problem in adults also. And perhaps in some cases, it may be even a bigger problem in adults than in children. For example, think of it. Our kids are sitting and reading big textbooks in school, right? They're sitting and reading chapters and chapters of books. They sit for 3-hour exams and write. So they do have some amount of attention to do all that, the average normal kid. But how many of us would be able to sit through a 3-hour lecture or sit through a 30-40 page chapter in a physics book? It's difficult to think of that now. So it's just to open the idea that this is not just a problem in kids, it's a problem in adults as well. We'll move to question 2. Question 2, certain types of screen activity increase attention and focus. We're a divided house here, 70-30. 70% of you think true, 30% false. Now, this is a controversial statement, but we are taking the side of true here. All right, that certain types of screen activity increase attention and focus. And I think that's important to understand. We will be focusing a bit more on this in the response section when we come there. But it is an issue that not all screens are always the problem. We sometimes think that it is screens that is the problem, and by stopping all screen work, we will solve this problem. But I think that's important to understand that it's not just blanket thing that screens are a problem. Certain types of screen activity are more problematic than others, and some may even be helpful. And we will talk about that in the response section. All right, so just to keep us in mind that not all screens are the problem. There are certain activities which are probably more harmful than others, and certain activities that might actually be beneficial as well. So we shouldn't just lump everything about screens in one category there. All right, that's great. Let's move to the third one. I like this one. Fun is the only way to increase attention and focus in kids. We're almost equal here. Interestingly, 55% say true, only 45% are saying false. Now here, this is why I said this is a tricky one. This is a tendency we now have to think that only if we make things fun, people will pay attention to them. Now that's a bit of a problem because it's not true. Yes, fun is one way of increasing attention, but it certainly is not the only way of increasing attention. There's so many other things you can do to increase one's attention. So it's not just about cracking a joke and making some unnecessary comments to make people get attended. It's not really about that. Attention is more than just humor and fun. So I think that's the key point we wanted to bring up there. Again, more in the response section. Okay, fourth question. Today's kids are smart and don't need attention as much as previous generations. Right. 36% say true and 64% of you said false. We agree with the false. All right, the false is what we think is the right answer there. it is not true that kids don't need to put in attention as much as previous generations because they are smarter. So I think that's not a true fact. Yes, it is true that kids, every generation of kids tends to have a little bit more stimulation than their parents and their grandparents, and therefore, as a whole in the population, the kids of every generation have a slightly higher IQ. This is a general finding which is seen and replicated across time. That is true, but that does not mean that they don't need to focus and learn things, because if you don't pay attention and you don't focus, you don't learn. No point in having your higher IQ if you are not using it well. So this statement is false because of that, because you still need to have attention and focus as much as previous generations did. That does not change. Okay, question 5. Today's kids are capable of long attention spans and focus. Okay, interesting. We're divided exactly across the middle, almost equal, true and false. So most of us today think that kids these days are just not capable of doing it. They're not capable of being focused. It's part of this generation. All these new generations, generation alpha, beta, all these, they just can't concentrate. They just always distractible. That's not really true. All right. It's not that they have to be like that or they are condemned to be like that just because they are born at this time. It's not that they have some disease or disorder that is there. A lot of the problem is because they are not actually practicing the skills that are needed to improve attention and concentration. So it's a question of actually working on increasing focus and attention, which a lot of previous generations didn't have to work so much because it was naturally part of their routine. Now, we didn't really have to think too much about this because we used to naturally do a lot of these things. Now the problem is they're not doing a lot of those things which they should be doing. We'll talk about that in the response section. But it is not true that they simply cannot do it. They can learn these skills and they can improve their focus and attention and do very well. All right. And what about the 6th one? Attention and focus is only needed for studies and not for other activities. Okay, the vast majority of you say false, and we completely agree. So any kind of activity which is an activity requires focus and attention. So I think before we go anything else, I think I should just explain what we mean by attention, because I know it's an English word and English words can sometimes be misunderstood. But here from a psychology, psychiatry, medical perspective, when we use the word attention, we mean a very specific thing. We mean the ability to focus on the task one is doing at this point of time. So all of you are focusing on what I'm saying. It means you are able to give attention. So the ability to focus at a task at hand at this point of time is called attention. Now, if we are able to sustain this focus over a long time, that's called concentration. So the two things are quite related, attention and concentration. I know in English we use them interchangeably, but just to clarify what we mean when we are saying attention, we mean the ability to focus, and sustaining the focus and attention over time is called concentration. So let's just to clarify our terms there. So I think we can all agree that the problem is real, and these statements are some of the things that that help us to understand where the problems are to some extent. But the question really now is, what do we do about it? And that's where we need to move to the response section. All right, so that's really good. Thanks for your participation in the poll. You did really well. And now I'm going to move us now to the response section, where we will be talking a few things, a few very, very practical tips. And we're now coming down to some really practical things we can attempt to do, again, with the focus on things like music and storytelling to help us with improving attention in our kids. Right, the first thing we want to talk about, and it's a very important thing, is reading. Okay, so I think that must have surprised you. Correct, that may not be the first thing you thought we'd say. Reading. All right, especially with our theme of music and the topic of attention and all this talk about screens, I'm sure nobody thought reading would be the first point we come up with. But reading is something of a lost art these days. Just a couple of days back, while preparing for this session, I was reading an article. It wasn't an Indian article, it was a Western article, an American article. It was saying that if you read, if you, meaning an American citizen of today, reads one book in a year, or if anyone in your family reads one book a year, you are one of only 31% of the families in America. So, can you believe that? So, only 31% of families in America have at least one person who has read one book in a year. Just think about that for a minute. A highly educated, developed country this is. We're not talking about a third world country here. Right. So that's the statistics there. Now transplant it to India and we can just imagine. I would be surprised if even this many people we have who are reading one book a year. So it is a problem. Reading has gone down tremendously. Earlier when we were much younger, we might be remembering, and everyone used to read a newspaper in the morning, right? We used to all read books. We had to, we used to read pamphlets, we used to read magazines, we used to read articles, all kinds of things. Reading was a big part of our life, whether we liked it or not. It just happened. Now, the same people, fast forward to us now. I'm not talking about our kids, I'm talking about us. How much do we actually read today? It's tremendously reduced. I think that's just one thing to just help us understand. So if we ourselves are not reading, how on earth do we expect our kids to read? Now, why is reading important? Because reading has many, many things that improve brain functions and, in many ways. Because if you have to read a book, whether it's a fiction book or a non-fiction book, you need to do many processes. First of all, you need attention because you need to focus on it. After that, you need to develop your memory because as you're reading you need to recollect what you were reading in the previous pages. If you're reading a fiction work, you have to keep the story arc in mind. You have to keep the progression of the characters. You have to keep the plot in mind. Quite a task, actually. And by the time you reach the end of 300 pages, you have to remember the entire story, what has happened, in order to really get what is happening. Now, what happens today, you can get the entire summary of a big book in 30 seconds in a TikTok video or an Instagram video. And you see, therein lies the problem. You see, we've become lazy. It's not that we can't do this, but we've become lazy to do this. And that's why we've lost a lot of these skills. And reading is a great way to practice these things. So I think the first point we need to remember is we ourselves as parents need to be reading so that we model this to the kids. So we need to, this is a good target. Let us at least try to read one good book a year, minimum. I mean, if you can read more, wonderful. But however busy we are, I think we can all commit to this one book a year. At least let's be in that 31% of families which read at least one book a year. All right. So that's one action point. Right. Next thing is, even with reading, one thing is modeling to the kids how to read. The other thing is spending time reading with them. Now, when a lot of you, we noticed when you filled up your registration forms, the vast majority of you are actually parents or teachers of kids from 4th to 8th grade. This is a very formative period when kids actually will enjoy being read to, right? So if you can spend time reading to them, nothing like it. And you can make the stories come alive, you can dramatize them, you can do a little bit of a book review after that. After you've read together, you can ask them questions about the book. What did they like about the book? What did they not like about the book? What was the story? What were the main characters? What were the features of the thing? What did they learn? Simple questions like this to help them reflect and recollect on what they have read. Either the books you have read to them or the books they have read alone. So that's a great way to get them to think and develop some of these skills. Okay, I need to move on now. The next one, okay, you won't expect what this is. Movies. You might be wondering why on earth we're bringing up movies here. Now you remember in the poll we had asked this question about screens. Yeah. So the the biggest problem with screens is not really screens themselves, but the most problematic part of screens is actually these short little videos, right? The reels, the TikTok videos, the Instagram short clippings, the YouTube shorts. These are the biggest culprits in the story, not the long form content that is often there. So, because people have gotten used to quickly shifting things, and this is at any age, right? From small kids, even little babies nowadays, we're sitting and showing them Instagram reels and things like this. These short reels actually, give them a big kind of high and give them a lot of things that they need in a short time, and then they switch to something else. So they get used to just being, switching from one thing to the other. It's not just kids, it happens to us also. So this is one of the main reasons we've lost our capacity to have patience for long form things. And this is why I'm saying good old movies are still a good thing. You still have to watch 2 to 3 hours of stuff, and that requires some amount of focus. It has some amount of thinking you need to do. The same processes as reading a book, actually. You need to keep the plot in line, you need to keep the characters in mind, and all of these things. It requires some amount of work. And so we would actually encourage, rather than these short videos, is actually sit with your kids, choose with your kids occasionally. I'm not saying watch every day, once in a while, or even take them to the theater and watch, and the whole experience of doing that together. Choose good movies that you could watch with them and talk about them later. Just like you talked about the book reviews, you can actually discuss the movie afterwards, ask them about it. What did they learn? What did they not like? What did they like? What could have been done better? What were some good things about the characters they saw? What were some problems? All of this is good, just like in books. So again, remember, choosing the content which is useful is very, very important. And this is where again parents can play a big role. It's not that all of YouTube is bad. It's not that all of screens are bad. Let's sit, choose, and decide what would be good. And again, that involves first us doing a little bit of background research and seeing and all, and then deciding, let's go and do this, and keep it as an activity that is a shared activity, and debrief and discuss about it. The same could be said about all kinds of long form content, including YouTube long videos and discussion videos and documentaries and things like this also. It's not that these should be avoided. There's a lot you can learn from them, but choosing them, using them well, and discussing them is very crucial. All right, let's move now to music. So enough about storytelling and reading and stuff. We'll move to the music part of the story. I know many of you who have joined this must have been attracted by the music part of the story, and that's nice because we are also really fond of music. So why music? What does music do to help us with attention? A lot of things, actually. But one thing it doesn't do is, just by putting it as background music in the thing and sitting like that, may or may not really help. So sometimes people say, oh, I always listen to background music, but still I'm distracted. So people think that, what to say, I listen to background music all the time and yet I'm still distracted. What is that about? So it's not just about putting the music there. I think the point is we need to listen to music a little seriously as well. All right, if we want to help it to improve our skills in attention, just like a book. Now, if we're sitting and dozing off over a book while reading it, it's not helping us improve our focus. Unless we engage with the book, read the book, and the things we mentioned earlier. Same about movies. We just sit through the movie and not pay much attention to it, it's not helping. But if we pay attention to it and debrief it later, it helps. Same with music. Music also needs that kind of serious attention while listening to it. Particularly if you're listening to vocal music, which includes singing, very important, and I can't stress this enough, the attention to lyrics. Okay, so often today we have people who just want to sit and listen to the tunes without even bothering about the lyrics. So listen to the lyrics, talk about the lyrics of songs that you've heard, understand them. That increases the whole experience of the piece of music as well. So the importance of lyrics can't be emphasized enough Really, really important. But not just lyrics, there's something called form as well. All right, form, FORM. And the form of music is also something that gradually, as we listen to more and more music, we get used to it. Form basically means the structure of a piece of music. What happens in it? Like for example, let's take, for simplicity, I'll take the example of a song. Let's say you have any of these popular songs that you're listening to. Now, you would have probably a prelude or something at the start, some instrumental thing that starts. Then you'll have the first verse. Then you'll probably have a chorus or something like that. Then another verse. Maybe there'll be some different section like a bridge or a contrasting section. And you go back to the chorus and then you end. So what I've just described is the form of that particular song, whichever song it is. So listening for these little things, getting the structure of the thing will also help you to focus more on it and appreciate the whole thing a lot more than just some background thing. That's if it's a song. But what if you're listening to something like an instrumental piece? Like a lot of you might be listening to classical music, whether it's Western classical or Indian classical or anything. You find some really rich content there. But it's no point if you're not really listening to the structure of the piece and learning more, and then it's really helpful to learn more. Now, I admit it is more difficult to understand and appreciate the structure of instrumental music, but those of you who are learning it or who learn to appreciate it, it can really help with improving focus and attention, and that's been proven as well. But even if you're not into instrumental music, at least the songs you listen to, let's listen to the lyrics and the form and try to engage with the content of what we're doing. And again, you can debrief the songs you listen to with your kids later. That's a really good way of doing it. Now, sticking to music again, what about those kids who actually are going to learn music? Now, one thing that we've seen off late, a lot of schools are introducing music as a compulsory part of the curriculum, some form of music, just like art has been introduced and sports has already been introduced for a long time. Music has also been introduced as some form of training in schools, either an instrument or singing, if nothing else, something, but some form of music or some musical activity has been introduced in most schools, and that's a great thing. So a lot of kids are learning music in some form. Some are learning much more obviously structured, and some of them go for music classes and things separately and go really think. But the point is whether you're just learning a nursery rhyme in school or whether you're learning an 8th grade piano piece or something, whatever it is, or you're going to perform publicly a song or something, doesn't matter. Whatever level you're learning at, the point is music needs to be disciplined, and the learning of music needs to be a focused, disciplined art, just like sports. And today we're not talking about sports, but talking about music. It's not just for fun. And unfortunately, a lot of the times it's just put for fun. Let's just put this music on and do something. Let's not bother how it sounds. Let's not bother how we sing. Doesn't matter. Just have fun. Sing loudly with passion. Doesn't matter if you hit the right notes, or just play whatever you like. It doesn't matter. That won't work. That doesn't help at all. It's neither fun, because there are few things that sound worse than discordant music. Think of this. Unstructured discordant music is one of the isn't music, it's called noise. So that doesn't help a lot. So you need to have structure and discipline while music is being taught at whatever level. So it is important that they learn the right note. It is important that they learn the right rhythms, whatever they're doing, the thing. It is important. And that discipline of learning, more than the learning itself, the process of disciplining is very important to improve one's attention, concentration, and a lot of other life skills as well. Music is a place where people can learn, all kinds of life skills, including teamwork, how to work with others, how to lead, how to, support others, because you often work in groups. And so there's all sorts of advantages coming in there. And finally, the most important thing in the response is the role of parents as role models. So in all these little things that we've said, whether it's reading or screen stuff or music, the importance of parents modeling this cannot be overstated. It's really important. And it is important that the parents model this. That makes a difference more than, yes, obviously they see this in school, they may see this in friends, that's true. But having the parents model some of these things has a tremendous impact on the kids. And spending a little time with them doing these things, like I said, reading to them or debriefing a book they've read, or going for a movie and talking about it later, or talking about the songs they're listening to, and little things like this. They're not very big things, but these practical tips can go a long way in improving kids' attention, focus, and interest. Another interesting thing is, a lot of the times the lack of attention and focus is tied to interest. So if you are able to cultivate interest in these things, attention and focus also goes up. So those are some of the quick pointers we have. All right, that ends the response part. And now we need to move very quickly into the reflection part, the third of our 3 R's. Now what we've got here is, we're going to give you a little time, all of you. Take your time, we'll play some music for you, all right? And while we're playing, take a little bit of time. We'll give you a minute or two to just think about what we've learned, and try to think of at least one practical strategy that you think you can take away and apply in your life. I mean, you can think of many more, but let's start with just one at least. One practical strategy we can take back and try and apply it in our own life, or in the lives of our kids, whatever, or in our school, if you're working in a school. So we just give you some time. If you feel like, you can type it in the chat box. You don't have to. You can write it down if you like, or just keep it in your own mind. All right, so here's some reflection time for you. All right, so thank you for all your points, and I can see a lot of people have put in very nice points. Keep thinking about it and keep reflecting, and that's great. So as we continue, we have a few more things to tell you and share. You can keep putting in your reflections as you're thinking as well. And we have a couple of things to tell you, including a very special announcement that we need to bring up today. Right. So we want to introduce a kind of experiment, and we're very excited about this. This is a special thing for our friends here in Vellore, because it's an on-site program that we are planning. I know we have lots of friends from other places also who have joined us today. So this is more specially applicable for them, but we'd like to share this with our friends from other places as well. So we're planning to start a very special on-site program here for kids from 4th to 8th standard. All right. And we're introducing it for the first time today. So you guys are the first people to hear about this, right? We will talk about it more with others as well. But you get the privilege. Those of you who have come for today, you're hearing this for the first time. So we are starting something what we're going to call the S.O.C.H, healthSoch Academy's S.O.C.H school. All right. I'm just going to, Praveen will be sharing this for you on the screen, and we'll tell you about this and just take you through this. We'll share the link for this site as well. So this is an experimental thing that we're starting. It's more like a sort of thing on weekends that we're planning to do for kids. We'll tell more about it. And Soch, as you know in Hindi, means to think. And our name healthSoch Academy also has the word Soch there. But Soch here is used as an acronym, score and script to open creative horizons. So score means, when you write down music, it's called a score. And script is when you write down a story or a drama, it's called a script. So we're going to be actually using music and story writing and drama to open creative minds and also teach certain important mental health skills in the process using music, storytelling, and drama. All right, so that's the general idea. But the first program that we're planning in this thing is called S.O.C.H Adventures, and we're very, very excited about this. We hope to be launching this soon, very soon. In fact, this within the next couple of weeks or so, if that's possible. So this is basically for kids from 4th to 8th standard. All right, and we're planning it as a year-long program. It's not going to clash with anybody's school timings because we're planning it only on weekends. There'll be a couple of weekend sessions that they'll have to attend across the year. And during that time, we'll be, like I said, we'll be using music, storytelling, and drama as the vehicles for teaching these things and improve many mental health skills, including attention, focus, creativity, concentration, self-esteem, dealing with emotions, and all these sorts of mental health skills as well. So we plan it as a 3-semester thing. There'll be 3 semesters over this year, and there'll be you can go through this site in detail if you're interested. Yeah, I'm just going to ask Praveen to go down. So in semester 1, which is the first couple of weeks, we will be focusing on teaching certain important, fundamentals in music as well as storytelling. So you can see the things here. Like, for example, music, certain important aspects such as melody, rhythm, harmony, the form of a piece, and even some basics of how you can compose, create new things. In storytelling, we'll be looking at various aspects of how you write a good story. How to build a narrative, how to develop the story, how to make characters, how to make them alive, how to round off a story, and how to create a good story arc, how to resolve things, how to keep themes ready. So all these kind of very basic things. Remember, we're going to be doing this for 4th to 8th standard kids. So it will be kept at a very basic level. And I did tell you about the Tame Your Dragon workshop we had done a couple of weeks back. So we found kids can really respond. And this age group of kids are probably the most creative ones, 4th to 8th standard. I think after 8th, they tend to lose some of their creativity. And by the time they're our age, all creativity is gone. So 4th to 8th is a great time to invest in these things. So this is semester 1. In semester 2, the couple of weeks we'll be focusing on actually working out a drama. So these kids will be involved with scripting a new drama based on the skills they have learned in semester 1. So there'll be a new drama, a new story, which will have to be dramatized later in semester 3. But the kids will be involved with scripting and even in scoring, in getting some of the music or at least the lyrics of the thing ready. And we will help with finishing up the drama and the music and getting all of this ready. That is semester 2. And in semester 3, we will have some assessments and all there, but simple ones, just to make sure they've learned something. And finally, it will end with rehearsals, and they will put up the finished drama, for their parents and for a general audience outside. That's how it will finish with semester 3. So this is the grand plan for the S.O.C.H adventures. We're really hoping to pilot this year, get the first pilot program out this year itself. That's what we're hoping for. So we really like, if any of you are interested, unfortunately it's an on-site program, so it has to be people who are in Vellore. But our other friends can also contact us if you want to learn more about this and discuss about other options of maybe doing some of this online as well. We can discuss that. But for our friends in Vellore here, if you are interested in getting your kids to enroll in this very interesting program, there are only limited seats because we're doing it for the first time. We can only keep a limited group of kids for this first group. So if you are interested to find out more, please do contact us. You can this site, we will be placing this the link for this site in the chat box. Now if you scroll to the bottom of this, you can there's a form that you can fill on this site itself. You can register interest for this. So it's a very short, it's only 2 or 3 lines. So please do take little time and fill this. It won't take much time, but it's nothing. You just have to give a registration of interest, and we will contact you with further details that you can discuss about, all the other things you want to know about how kids can enroll and what is the process, what is the things that they need to do. It's only on a couple of weekends, so it's not an everyday process at all. It's only a few weekends over and a few days over the piece of the year when they have to spend time on this. But they will be having some homework and stuff like that to engage with through the year, and it will be a very interesting program. And if you scroll all the way to the bottom, if you still have questions, right at the bottom we have some other things you can see. We have a video recording of an audio recording, of this Tame Your Dragon, one of the songs from that, an extract, just so that you can hear that if you like. Where we had this was from the live performance that was done at the end of that workshop. So during that workshop, we actually composed 2 new songs for that. This is one of those songs, and the entire drama was also written by the kids and put up. So that was a microcosm of what S.O.C.H adventures would be like. S.O.C.H adventures would be on a much bigger scale. But if you're interested, you can just listen to that. You can contact us. You see our phone number is there, our email is there, and also you can follow us on social media. On YouTube, we have a channel called Chai with HSA. You can click there and go there. A lot of free content is available there. We'd encourage you to go and look at our free content as well on YouTube. But please, if you are interested in S.O.C.H adventures or finding out more about it at least, please do take a couple of seconds and fill up that form. The form is on this site itself, right at the bottom, and we will be happy to get back to you with and answer your questions. You either over mail or WhatsApp or even a call. We could get on a call and discuss as well. But we'd encourage you to hurry and come, because we do have only limited seats for this year. And we want, if you know other kids also who might be interested in this 4th to 8th age group, or their parents, you can pass this information on to them and let them kind of get interested and join. So that's all we really need to say about S.O.C.H adventures. Other than this, you can visit our website, and that's www.healthSochacademy.com. That's easy to remember. If you remember our name, you can get it. You can view we have courses, we have webinars periodically, and we have other things that we do. You can view on the site and find out. Do view our YouTube channel, Chai with HSA. We have a lot of free content there, and we periodically put in free videos there with interesting content on mental health issues, which are kind of up in the society and which are prominent in our current culture. We discuss those sorts of issues on these free videos. So you can look at those on YouTube, and you can follow us on our other social media platforms as well. Please stay in touch. Most of you would have got a WhatsApp message about a WhatsApp community. Some of you have joined that community. if you'd like, you can join that community and stay there. You can stay for updates. We'll keep posting new developments there also. And we'd be happy for you to contact us if you have anything you want to ask. Schools also, we are happy to work with you. If you're any teachers or would like to contact us about discussing things with their school, we are happy to do that as well. Any parents want to bring up issues, you want to reach out for any personal things, you can reach out on email and we can see if we can help you with that as well. All right, so that's our website which Praveen has written. Our email ID is hello@healthSochacademy.com. That's it. So Job, we've put in the chat box, you can see there's the community link there. I just want to also see if we've put the there is the session for the link for joining, sorry, for registering interest. We'll just put that. We'd like you to fill that if you're interested in joining or enrolling or even just finding out about the S.O.C.H Adventures program. Please do that. We will also be placing that in the WhatsApp community and also sending it to you by WhatsApp later, so that you can circulate that among friends in Vellore as well who might be interested in joining. So with that, I think we're very happy to have had all of you here. Thank you so much for your interest. Oh, I can see some queries here. There are some questions here about the S.O.C.H Adventures. Let me just try and address some of them. It is not online, it is on-site. So this is an on-site program. We don't yet have an online version of this, but maybe that's something we can think of after we've done this. All right. Yeah. And it's not applicable for grade 2 because we're sticking to grades 4 to 8 right now as the, at least for this year, as we work with these kids. We'll see if we can expand it to other groups later. I can see someone's from Ambur. Yeah, you can contact us as well. You can just fill that form. We can see how we can help you with that if you're interested. Ambur is not terribly far away. So you can also be, anyone who can reach here and have the sessions, it's fine. You don't have to be living in Vellore. If you're in the surrounding areas also, like Ambur, etc., you can also, or Chittoor and other areas, Ranipet, you can also come along and join this. So please do fill in the form and we can do it. All other details we will tell you. I mean, we don't want to waste the session time telling this. So please fill in the form and we will then get back to you with further details, and then you can discuss all your questions and comments, and we can talk about the logistics and all those things in those in those separate conversations. All right, so I think we are out of time and we've had a great time today. Thank you so much for joining us. We once again want to thank you for spending this Saturday evening. It's a difficult time to spend. It's your free time. So we really appreciate all parents, teachers, and others who have joined. It's a great encouragement for us, and really happy to have had all of you here. Take care, and as we usually like to say, stay healthy, stay S.O.C.H. Thank you.